You ever notice how you keep ending up in the same kind of relationship, just with a different face? You tell yourself things will be different, but somehow the same arguments, the same disappointments, and the same heartbreaks find their way back. It's like you're stuck in a loop you can't escape. But what if it's not bad luck or coincidence? What if your mind is pulling you back there, repeating the pain not to punish you, but to heal you? Sigmund Freud called this the repetition compulsion, the unconscious drive to recreate painful experiences from the past in hopes of mastering them. The mind doesn't want to suffer, it wants resolution. If you were once abandoned, you might find yourself drawn to emotionally unavailable people, not because you enjoy the pain, but because part of you is trying to rewrite the story and finally earn the love that was once missing. The tragedy is that we rarely realize we're doing it. We repeat until we remember. Freud said, "We are doomed to repeat what we do not remember. Until the wound becomes conscious, the past keeps finding its way back into the present." Modern psychology gives us a clearer picture through attachment theory. John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth discovered that our earliest relationships with caregivers create emotional blueprints for love. If love once felt uncertain, conditional, or unsafe, we internalize that pattern as normal. We mistake chaos for chemistry, inconsistency for passion. Imagine a child who learnt love meant chasing, working hard to earn attention, and fearing it could vanish at any moment. As an adult, that same person may unconsciously feel drawn to partners who make them fight for affection. Calm, consistent love might feel uncomfortable, even boring, because it doesn't match the emotional rhythm they grew up with. Our brains confuse familiarity with safety. Even if it hurts, it feels like home. From a neuroscience perspective, this pattern runs deep. Every emotional experience, love, rejection, fear, creates neural pathways that link our thoughts, sensations, and behaviors. Over time, those pathways become habits. When a new person triggers a familiar feeling, our brain fires those same circuits. We react automatically, repeating old coping mechanisms. People-pleasing, withdrawal, detachment, anger. It feels involuntary because, in a sense, it is. Breaking the cycle isn't just emotional work, it's neurological rewiring. We're not only confronting our past, we're retraining our brain to expect something different. Here's the paradox: we repeat pain not because we love it, but because repetition gives us an illusion of control. If we can reenact the same story, maybe this time we can change the ending. Maybe this time will be enough to make them stay. Maybe this time we'll see the rejection coming and stop it before it hurts. Psychologist Bessel van der Kolk describes trauma as the body's attempt to complete an incomplete action. The mind replays the past through relationships, choices, or even dreams, because it's still searching for closure. But as long as the original wound remains unhealed, the cycle continues, disguised as destiny. Carl Jung once wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." In relationships, we often project the disowned parts of ourselves onto others. The neglectful partner might mirror our buried fear of not being enough. The controlling friend might reflect our own need for stability in chaos. When someone triggers you, it's rarely just about them. It's about the mirror they hold up. We don't fall in love with people, we fall in love with what our psyche wants to resolve through them. Every heartbreak, every emotional loop, every disappointment, it's not punishment. It's a message. The psyche isn't trying to hurt you, it's trying to get your attention. Emotional pain also lives in the body. Our bodies remember what our minds forget. When an experience echoes an old wound, your body reacts before your mind does. Your heart races, your stomach tightens, your chest aches. That's because the amygdala, the brain's emotional alarm system, doesn't distinguish between then and now. If someone's tone reminds you of a parent who once criticized you, your body relives that threat in real time. That's why triggers feel so overwhelming. They're not reactions to the present, but echoes of the past. The good news is that awareness changes everything. When you start observing your patterns instead of judging them, you interrupt the autopilot. You create space between stimulus and response. Viktor Frankl once wrote, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space is where healing begins. It's where you realize that the person who keeps hurting you isn't your enemy. They're your teacher, showing you what still needs to be healed. It's where you stop asking, why do they keep doing this to me? And start asking, why do I keep allowing it? You can't rewrite your past, but you can stop recasting it. Healing begins when we become the caregiver we once needed. Psychologists call this reparenting. It's the process of learning to meet your own emotional needs, the validation, safety, and love you once sought from others. When you start giving yourself those things, your relationships transform. You stop chasing people who can't meet you halfway. You stop confusing anxiety for love. Slowly, you attract people who reflect your healing, not your hurt. Therapists often say, you attract what you believe you deserve. When your self-worth rises, so does your standard for connection. Every repeated heartbreak carries a message. Not, you're broken, not, you're doomed, but something in you still needs to be seen. The goal isn't to avoid pain, it's to understand it. Because once you understand it, it loses its power over you. You no longer need to keep reenacting it to make sense of it. Jung once said, there is no coming to consciousness without pain, but pain, when faced, becomes wisdom, and that wisdom becomes freedom. So if you keep reliving the same pain with different people, don't see it as failure, see it as guidance. The psyche repeats what's unresolved, not what's hopeless. Patterns continue until we learn the lesson they carry. And once we do, once we face the wound with awareness and compassion, the loop ends. The test is over, and we finally meet peace where pain used to live.